it's even a more extreme because it's removing the creative process from the human, you know, and basically generating it from then the computing technology. I don't know, you know, I mean, you will say something like that and you get somebody like Trent Reznor that I think that we probably had this conversation about sampling to some degree,
right?
You know, 20, 30 years ago.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
And whether that was a creative process from an artist and you get a, you know, a perspective, maybe like some people I think approach towards P. Diddy, who was Puff Daddy at the time, who people felt were just really just kind of like, he was laying down lyrics, you know, and his rap over top of just old riffs and not changing the riff. But then you got somebody as creative as, say, a Trent Reznor that's taking these bites and pieces and rearranging them and then almost making a new riff out of old riffs somehow, some way. So I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll have to keep seeing how this plays out. If you have somebody that is like a Trent Reznor versus, you know, not say anything bad about P. Diddy because I don't know enough about him to like necessarily complain.
Right.
To say that he was actually wrong in the way that he was sampling. But it's a little bit like that argument. Feels like that to me.
Sure. Yeah. And, you know, I know in some cases, you know, don't want to really name specific songs because I might not have the facts right. But, you know, when you're sampling a Van Halen or another band, I assume there were times that, and there definitely were times that they weren't consulted or didn't approve or weren't getting credit for the use of something they created that were being used in hip hop and other music.
That's the old rule with the Dust Brothers that I remember, you know, hearing discussed. The Dust Brothers who produced Paul's Boutique from the Beastie Boys, you know, basically, you know, I've seen a number of artists kind of comment on that and say that that record could never be made again because of the laws that were made after that record was created. It wouldn't allow for the amount of sampling that was done on that record, at least, or they could have done it, but it would have been a phenomenal cost, you know, to all the artists that would be paid for that. And I don't know where that leads, you know, with AI. Like if an AI generates something similar to a Van Halen riff, is that copyright or not? And
I guess that's what they're high paid lawyers to figure that out and fight that out.
Right.
But yeah, it certainly is a new avenue, I guess, of maybe stuff that's already been dealt with, but in a much different way, I think. Where it could be much, much more dangerous than helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah. And that's getting back to Spread Eagle.